For decades, luxury was everything.
A Louis Vuitton bag meant status. A Rolex on your wrist said you made it.
A pair of Gucci shoes wasn't just footwear, it was a lifestyle flex.
But something has shifted, fast. Gen Z isn't buying it anymore. Literally.
Studies show that while older generations still cling to brand prestige, Gen Z is turning away. In fact, only 15% of Gen Z say luxury brands reflect their values.
So why is this happening?
The answers reveal a generational earthquake. First, price. Gen Z grew up during economic instability, student debt, a pandemic, and now, record inflation. Spending $2,000 on a purse?
That's not flexing, that's tone deaf.
This generation wants value, not just expensive price tags. Second, ethics.
Gen Z is deeply values-driven. They're asking tough questions. How were these products made?
Who made them?
What's the environmental cost of that leather tote? Luxury brands that can't answer these questions are quickly falling out of favor.
Third, identity.
This is the social media generation.
You don't need a Hermes logo to show status anymore. You just need style, individuality, and maybe a good filter. Self-expression matters more than brand conformity. But here's the twist, Gen Z isn't rejecting luxury entirely.
They're redefining it.
Luxury now means unique.
It means ethical. It means sustainable. It might mean second-hand. It might mean local.
It might even mean digital. Yes, NFTs and virtual fashion are on the rise, too. That $38,000 Birkin bag?
Gen Z sees right through it. Especially now that TikTok has revealed it may only cost $1,400 to make in China. The markup isn't impressive, it's laughable. So what's next for luxury? Luxury brands have two options. Reinvent or fade. Some are starting to pivot.
Balenciaga launched recycled fashion lines.
Gucci is moving into digital wearables.
Others are still clinging to old narratives, hoping Gen Z doesn't notice the cracks.
But they do. Because this generation isn't just buying differently. They're thinking differently. And that's what makes them powerful. Luxury, as we knew it, is over.
The new luxury?
Being real. Luxury used to be something universal. A Chanel logo. A pair of Louboutins. A Louis Vuitton tote gliding past you at the airport, all unmistakable symbols of class, taste, and status. But something is changing. Slowly at first, then all at once.
And if you're paying attention, you can see the shift playing out right now, in shopping habits, TikTok trends, the resale boom, and the explosion of vintage and thrift culture.
One generation is quietly breaking up with luxury. And that generation? Gen Z.
Why?
Let's look at the numbers.
According to recent surveys, only 15% of Gen Z say luxury brands reflect their personal values. Compare that to older generations, millennials, Gen X, boomers, who still see these brands as aspirational, meaningful, and worth the price. For Gen Z?
That mindset is fading fast. This shift isn't just about fashion. It's cultural. It's economic. It's deeply personal.
First, money.
Gen Z is growing up in a very different world than the generations before them.
The Great Recession, climate anxiety, crashing student debt, a pandemic, global inflation, rising rent, and shrinking job security. So when a luxury brand says, "This handbag is $3,000, Gen Z hears, "This is 3 months of rent."
It doesn't mean they're cheap. It means they're conscious.
They want to spend smarter, and feel like their money is going somewhere that matters.
Next, values.
Unlike previous generations, Gen Z is the most ethically driven generation in modern consumer history.
They care about how things are made, who makes them, and how companies behave.
They value transparency, sustainability, labor rights, diversity, and accountability.
And traditional luxury? often fails that test.
Behind the glitz and glamour, many iconic brands have long been opaque about their supply chains, environmental impact, and social values. In a world where Gen Z can Google your factory conditions in 5 seconds, silence is no longer an option.
Then there's authenticity. For Gen Z, flexing doesn't mean wearing logos.
It means individuality, personal style, vibes, and curation.
They're less interested in what everyone else is wearing and more into what makes them stand out.
Enter vintage fashion, upcycling, thrifted pieces, local makers, Etsy boutiques, and second-hand designer marketplaces like The Real Real or Vestiaire Collective. For Gen Z, luxury might mean a one-of-a-kind piece they found for $40 at a thrift shop, not a logo bag they saw on 10 influencers in 1 week. And then there's TikTok, the great equalizer. For years, luxury brands built themselves on exclusivity. But on TikTok, exclusivity doesn't trend, relatability does. When creators started breaking down how luxury markups actually work, people started paying attention. Remember that viral TikTok expose from China? A factory worker claimed that a Hermes Birkin bag, which sells for up to $38,000, only costs $1,400 to produce.
Same leather. Same hardware. Same craftsmanship. Just without the logo.
Suddenly, the question isn't, can I afford this?
It's, why would I want to?
Gen Z is hyper-aware of branding psychology. They know that luxury isn't just about a product, it's about a story, one that convinces people to spend 2,000% more because of a logo.
They know when they're being sold a fantasy, and they're choosing to opt out. But here's the kicker, Gen Z isn't anti-luxury. They're redefining it.
For this generation, luxury might mean ethically sourced materials, limited run pieces by small designers, a product that supports a cause, or tech that reduces waste. It might mean clothing made from recycled ocean plastic, or even digital wearables, outfits for avatars in the metaverse, or limited edition NFTs to flex online. This generation is already wearing digital sneakers and customizing their virtual closets. The next generation of luxury won't just be on Fifth Avenue, it'll be in Fortnite, Roblox, and Instagram filters.
Luxury is evolving.
And the old guard?
They're watching closely. Some brands are already adapting.
Gucci is experimenting with digital fashion. Stella McCartney has doubled down on sustainability. Balenciaga dropped a line of upcycled pieces. Louis Vuitton's parent company, LVMH, is investing in blockchain and traceability. But others?
They're still clinging to the past.
Still selling heritage and exclusivity to a generation that sees straight through it. And those brands?
They'll be the ones Gen Z leaves behind. Because this isn't just a fashion trend. It's a consumer revolution.
Luxury is no longer about looking rich.
It's about feeling right. Welcome to the new era of taste. It's thoughtful. It's bold. It's authentic. And it's Gen Z.
Be sure to subscribe to the Avoice channel, we appreciate your support.
See you in the next video.